direction for success. Here, I will give you a brief idea about roadmaps, and during regional Scrum gathering, participants will be engaged using a couple of case studies to get the roadmap, and that would be a reality check of direction with customers and powerful enough to excite customers for future. Just a sec, yeah. So let's have a look on agenda of this product roadmap presentation. First, I will introduce what a product roadmap is, where it is needed, and what kind of components or information it carries, and also what could be the challenges of creating, using, and revising a product roadmap. Because product roadmaps are not static. We need to respond to changes for roadmap also. So let's see, what is the roadmap? Actually, it is a big picture to achieve product vision. Now, what's the product vision? It's a visualization of why a product exists. It's more about outcomes. And again, outcomes are the differences you can create in customer lives, behaviors, and business results. So if you achieve outcomes, you can see differences or significant improvements in organization KPIs, key performance indicators. Customers are satisfied, and you can see that customer problem is solving. Example of outcome could be like easy and secure system, spreading awareness for fitness. So these are inspiration, these are future dreams. So when you focus on outcomes, it automatically involves a discussion with your customers, your users, and business people about what actually means by success. And based on this discovery, discussion, and exploration, you come up with outputs. So what's the difference in outcomes and output? Outputs are features and deliverables of your product, and outcomes are differences you can create using these outputs. So let's take a simple example. You have received a request to do a Facebook integration. This is a feature of your mobile app. Before implementing this feature, if you work with your customer that what is the reason behind this feature, then you may get to know that customer wants to reach to certain number of customers. In that way, if you know the reason of that feature, you can work with your customer that really it can help to solve the customer problem. Maybe it's just a feature, and when you integrate Facebook with mobile app, it may not achieve the reason of that outcome or that need of that feature. So here, outcomes are not about project plan or release plan. It's more about your future dreams and aspirations related to that product. When we talk about project plan or release plan, it's more focused on hitting dates. It's more focused on maximizing throughput and efficient utilization of resources. That's why it's based on goals which you want to achieve. It gives an indication of broad timelines, like what is important now and for the next time and for the someday time. It's specific dates are not recommended. It's mostly focused on outcomes about your future. So what's a worthy roadmap? It should say about your future dream. It's more about why a product exists and reason for creating that product. It focuses on delivering value, and it's an articulation of why it is important and why information on it is important for the success. Again, yes, it focuses on outcome, and it's based on the organization goals and objectives. So your product vision should be aligned with the organization goals and objectives, and there should be a shared understanding of priorities. So what the goal you have, for that you need to involve your users, your stakeholders related to all the areas, sales, marketing, and other business people, and you need to have a clear understanding of priorities. And for that, you need to really research your market and user. Also, it's not a static thing. No one trusts your roadmap if it is not telling you that what most important coming next. You need to evolve your product roadmap to fit the changes. It's a living thing. It's not a static thing. And constantly you need to re-examine your goals, objectives, and also you need to constantly look to the customer problems, needs, and jobs to be done, and whatever objectives, customer problems you have taken into consideration in the product roadmap, it is really serving the purpose. You need to recheck. And the duration of this recheck, this re-examination depends on many factors. Like if you use Scrum framework and you come up with the sprint length based on many factors like amount of uncertainty. So in the same way, product roadmap is examined based on many factors, and in general, time scale of the product roadmap is automatically designed accordingly. Like you can re-examine your product roadmap on a weekly basis or a quarterly basis. So here, based on the type of product, based on your customer behavior, you come up with a time scale of the product. Okay, these are the themes, these are the customer problems which we are going to focus, and based on the user response, we need to see that where we need certain updates. Again, it's not a project or release plan. I have seen many traditional roadmaps where the focus is on the dates and what features and functions you are going to deliver on those dates. Yes, you need those dates, but here in the roadmap, you focus on the customer problems, their needs, and jobs to be done. And based on that, you involve your users, stakeholders who are involved in the development of that product in any way. And after identification of your actual need, after understanding of success, you come up with the output. For example, you want to spread an awareness for fitness, and that awareness can be created in many ways. You can write a book, or you can come up with a mobile app. You need to see what is your goal, what's your dream to create this mobile app or this new book. Can you fulfill that dream? How many users you want to reach, and how user behavior is reflecting and aligned with the books or a mobile app. You need to see that that's your goal, your vision to create awareness, and what's the best way you can go with so you can come up with the success. You can see the taste of success. So you design your features and deliverables based on the outcomes, and that's why your project or release plan is aligned with your product roadmap. So you are not focusing on directly, you are not focusing on the release dates, you are focusing on the customer needs, problems, and jobs to be done in the roadmap. So what are the components of product roadmap? Let's take an example. I'm taking an example of a learning app, and the product vision could be high quality learning experience to pass the exam in the first attempt. Pass the exam in the first attempt. It's a motivation. And this vision is directly related with the organization goal. Organization goal is directly related with the vision of the organization, like creating effective organization. And you can create effective organization when their people are skilled enough. And if they are going with certification, they should be able to pass the exam in the first attempt. So your vision is related to the inspiration, motivation, which are expected by the users. Now, this is a high-level visualization of product existence. Product vision is related to that. And then you come up with themes. Themes means customer problems. What needs you need to address to pass the exam in the first attempt. You need to involve your users, your stakeholders. Okay, if I want to include everything so that user can pass the exam in first attempt, then first thing you can come up with that it's easy to understand learning system is very important. And you can further go down for this need. You need to serve globally. Your learning system should be cost effective. It should provide flexible schedule to candidates, and complete coverage of syllabus should be there. So here, there could be many ways to develop easy to understand learning system. You can come up with classroom sessions, you can come up with virtual programs, and you can come up with self-paced programs. Here, you need to see that instead of jumping towards the solution, first come up with the themes, customer problems, and further go down to the granular level. And because you can solve problem better only when you are investing your time to understand customer needs and their jobs to be done. Now, the second thing is support whenever you need. If your learning system requires that problem to be solved, then it should be coupled with flexible candidate schedule. And also, this easy to understand learning system and support whenever you need is related with the users of learning system. You also need to include themes which are related to the business. You are looking for market growth, and you need to increase your active customers by 50%. That's the goal. That's the goal of your product. How you are going to deliver this product, you have not come up. It's not written here. It's not needed here. Here, you are focusing on vision and theme of your product. Theme is coming up with the what problems, needs, and jobs you are going to address. So 3 themes I have taken here as an example, and based on that, you can involve your stakeholders, your people, to understand that how you can come up with these features and deliverables. And features and deliverables will be aligned with outcomes. Okay, you are confident enough that whatever features and deliverables you are going to provide, it will be helpful to pass the exam in the first attempt. You're confident that you're going to achieve your product vision. So in summary, whatever features and deliverables you are delivering, first you are making sure that your product vision is going to be achieved. And maybe you are making lot of assumptions, so you really validate your themes, your customer problems which you have understood, which you have discovered. So again, I'm emphasizing here, it's not a static thing. So what are the components? First of all, I would like to emphasize here that there is no fixed template for displaying, for presenting your roadmap. It's depend on organization, it's depend on your product type, product complexity, and it depends on to whom you are presenting your product roadmap. Major components are here: product vision, which is the visualization of product existence, Business goals and objectives means what organization wants to achieve through their efforts. And based on that, they come up with business goals and objectives. So there should be alignment between product vision and business goals. Like I have given the example of learning app, and then you come up with different themes which are related to the customer problems, business problems and needs, and there could be any disclaimer like product roadmap can be updated without any notice. So these are the major components, and these components can be represented in many ways depending on many factors. So what's the product roadmap in agile context? Let's take this example again, which I have taken earlier. There is a theme, easy to understand learning system. And the last lower level need is here, complete coverage of syllabus. Now you're constantly examining that what you have delivered, and you are seeing that you are observing, you are reassessing that how users are responding to your easy to understand learning system. Here I would like to provide a recent example of agile practice guide, which has been released by PMI for PMP, PBA and ACP programs. If we need to give complete coverage of syllabus, we need to involve material related to agile practice guide. But after release, after 6 months of release, we got to know that core agile concepts which are mentioned in the agile practice guide concepts are not coming in these exams, and only a couple of questions are coming. So here we need to again come up with a different requirement that the course should be according to the current trend of examination. So this is an observation, this is a change which we need to accommodate. So here on the different frequency or defined frequency, you need to examine your product roadmap and you need to update, you need to evolve your product roadmap to fit changes, and these changes could be based on your assumptions which you are doing constant revalidation, and it could be related to the user behavior change, it could be related to the market condition change. So you need to constantly update your product roadmap. So here it's a brief summary is related to product roadmap is you need to have a clear product vision. Without clear product vision, you cannot identify customer problems and needs which needs to be addressed. Your roadmap should focus on customer needs rather deliverables or on hitting specific dates. Your roadmap should be based on what differences you can create in the customer lives, in the business results. And for that, you need to involve your stakeholders, and the clear identification of clear exploration of customer needs and business results requires extensive market and user research, and you must have a clear understanding of prioritization, and on that basis you can come up with the themes. Your themes are prioritized on the product roadmap, and based on the constant delivery, frequent delivery, you need to see that how your users and how your market is responding, and based on that you need to respond to changes, you need to evolve your product roadmap. So this is the brief idea about product roadmap. In detail, we will discuss during regional Scrum gatherings. Time to take questions.
Thank you so much, Seema. It was absolutely a great session.
Thanks, Ishan.
And we're open for the questions. Yes, Seema, you're telling something?
Yes, I'm looking at the, trying to look at the chat window Q&A section.
Yes, either of them. So I would request all the attendees, if you have any question, kindly. Yes, Natarajan has raised his hand. If you can ping your question on chat, or you can post it on Q&A. We have sufficient amount of time, and we can take multiple questions. I'm definitely sure. So requesting all the attendees once again, if you have any questions, kindly post it on the chat or on the Q&A section.
Okay, Natarajan is asking what is the role of agile team in roadmap session. See, in agile we focus on outcomes more. Because there is an uncertain environment, and we focus on delivering value. So it's very important to come up with a shared understanding of what does it mean by success, what is required to deliver a successful product. So agile team needs to know that what's the goal of creating this product, and for that you need to work with business people. There is a principle that business people and development team members needs to work together. It's one of the 12 principles, and that's why we need to involve different users and different stakeholders to know that whatever features and functions we are using, if it is going to solve the problem. So the role is to understand why we are going to use these features and functions. Hope this helps. What you can ask again.
Hope, Natarajan, I think your question was answered by Seema. And moving on next, if we have any other questions from other attendees, please let us know by chat or on the Q&A section. So, Seema, if you might not be able to see the Q&A section, Saikat Khoj is asking you one question. What is the best way to do predictable milestone on roadmaps?
Okay. Milestones are mostly related with the dates, right, Shekhar? And yes, your dates are needed by stakeholders, your business people. They need dates because they need to respond to many other things. It's not a harm that you include milestone dates in the roadmap, but there should be a clear message that focuses on the customer needs and problems. There is an alignment with the release plan or your milestone dates with the roadmap, and if something change in the roadmap, automatically we reflect those dates, those milestone dates, and that should be aligned. But milestone dates are mentioned only when these are requested, but disclaimer should be there that we are not focusing here on dates. We are more focusing on these are the themes, these are the customer problems, and this is our product vision. So traditional roadmap may had these kind of milestone dates, but now these are not recommended. You can use high-level milestone dates, but it should be with disclaimer.
I hope, Saikat, that was answered by Seema. Let us know if you have any follow-up questions to that. Yes, Saikat is saying his question was answered. Seema, we have a question. We had a question from Natarajan, which he picked twice, I think, and on chat it was asked, how effectively we can handle for distributed teams?
Well, this question is not directly related with the product roadmap, but if we want to, I'm taking this question that you are asking that if you need to involve everyone in the product roadmap, then how you can solve this problem in distributed environment. I'm taking this question in that way. Yeah, roadmap vision. There may be many, you can use many tools where, and where you can involve different people. You can, if you are doing market research or user research, you can use different elicitation tools and techniques, and you can, based on your stakeholders availability, based on their nature, and based on what kind of information you would like to explore, based on that you can use different tools, video conferencing tool, and different elicitation tools also. Because whatever template I have explained here, it's a outcome of that exploration, discussion, and discovery. And for before that, we have to use lot of investigation, and we need to involve the stakeholders well. Just the product roadmap which I have shown, that's the final thing. So there is no black and white answer that how we can effectively use. It depends on many factors. Like what kind of information you are collecting. Maybe if some sensitive information is there, you may use different tool. If you need to involve in a group, then you may use video conferencing tool where you can doing workshop. And when you are doing kickoff meeting to bring everyone on the same page, you can use video conferencing tools, and you may take care of time zone issues. So it depends on many factors, what kind of information you need to collect, and what and if you are presenting product roadmap, if you are creating a shared understanding, then of course you need to use the technology.
Thank you, Seema. Rajan, I think your question was answered by Seema. Again, 2 minutes before. Perfect. It was answered rightly by Seema. So moving on, I think we're short with time as well. I think if we can take any question, last question probably from the attendees, because we started the session a little late. So any question from the attendees? We'll take up only one last question. So Seema, I'm assuming none of the attendees have any other questions, right? So I think we can go ahead and end this session. And yes, I think we should, right now, I think we should go ahead and close this session. And the next thing would be meeting you all in the regional Scrum gathering on 29th and 30th of March. Really looking forward for this session, this event. It will be a great event. I hope it will be great meeting you all. And definitely thanking you, Seema, right now, thanking you for this amazing session. We hope everyone else had a great time too. For any questions, or if anybody has any questions post this session, you can directly reach out to me or else to Seema as well. Seema, if you can you mention your email address on the screen anywhere?
Yeah, I'm typing here in the chat window.
Yes, you can type it on the chat window. So if anybody has any questions, directly reach out to Seema. Even you can reach out to me. I will forward it to Seema for the presentations as well. You can reach out to Seema, or else you can reach out to me. I will get it from Seema and forward it to you. And yes, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for attending us today. It was a great session from Seema. And we will be all meeting on 29th and 30th of March in Hyderabad for the Regional Scrum Gathering.
Thanks, Ishan. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Bye-bye.